Hello and welcome to the Pen Prescription. I'm Dr. Chris, a double board certified physician, mom, and fountain pen enthusiast. In this episode, I will be reviewing the Esterbrook Model J in Ebonite. This pen I inked up and used for 1 week in my day-to-day life so that I could provide an honest review. This pen was purchased with my own private funds, and any opinions presented in this video are my own. Just as a disclaimer, this is not a medical advice channel. Without further ado, let's begin with an unboxing of the Esterbrook Model J. Okay, so let's go ahead with the unboxing of the Esterbrook Model J in Ebonite. It comes in this really lovely box, very vintage-inspired artwork on this box. The signature there, the R. Esterbrook signature. I got, mine is an antique rose color with a fine nib, so we'll see that in just a moment. But just to show you the artwork on the box here. There you go, authenticity, very good. Okay, so, and then this red sort of cloth covered box slides out. This is the same type of material that the Esterbrook Estes come in, if you have any experience with those. And then another box slides out here containing the pen itself. So not a whole lot of literature comes with this pen, but it does have a QR code to activate your warranty and whatnot. So that's kind of a cute little envelope in there, and it comes with one standard international short cartridge to get you started, and then the pen itself. So as I said, this is the Esterbrook Model J in Ebonite. This is the antique rose color. This pen is available in 2 colors, a lotus green and this antique rose, which is a brown color. I'm not really sure why it's called antique rose, but it is a very beautiful brown. I'm not super into brown pens, but occasionally you get a really, really beautiful brown. I don't know, this strikes me as like a walnut brown. I don't really know why, but it does. So this pen is inspired by the 1950s Esterbrook Model J, but it is the first pen, my understanding it is the first pen that Esterbrook has made using Ebonite, and this is a German Ebonite material. On the body of the pen, you can see there's gold trim, and there are these gold bands right on the middle of the barrel here, or I guess on the end of the barrel, in front of the section. And the one band, the larger band, is has a hammered finish, which, you know, you can very subtly feel it. It's more visible than it is palpable, but it's really a beautiful effect. And then you can see this section here kind of tapers very gradually and then has a little kind of flare at the end to keep your fingers from encroaching on the nib, if that's something that you like. I don't find the threads here to be bothersome at all, but you can feel them a little bit. This pen comes with a number 6 stainless steel Jovo nib, which is gold plated. And this nib is available from Esterbrook in extra fine, medium, 1.1 millimeter stub, and then the 3 sort of specialty grinds, journaler, scribe, and needlepoint. So you can have your choice of those. This pen has a twist cap, and there is sort of a spring-loaded mechanism in there to keep the pen from drying out. So when you cap and uncap it, you can sort of feel that little spring-loaded bit. The clip is a little stiff, but functional. And then there is the Esterbrook logo in gold on the finial, and then on the other end, you can see that. All right, and then one fun little detail is they do have the their signature engraved on here. Let's see if you can see that. our Esterbrook Co. Focus, and underneath it just says USA. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, this pen is 123.5 millimeters long. It's pretty lightweight. It's 25 grams, 9 grams for the cap, 16 grams for the body, and it's a nice lightweight. On the inside, this is a cartridge converter pen, and it's a standard international cartridge converter, so it can be used with any standard international cartridge converter or cartridge, and I believe it can take short and long cartridges. I paid $265.50 for this pen, which I think is a pretty decent price considering the material. Obviously, you're paying for a stainless steel nib rather than a gold nib, but I believe the price is a little higher than one might expect due to the ebonite material and the rarity of that. So you're kind of paying for the material rather than a gold nib at that price point. Yeah, you can kind of see, again, I have surgical glove size 6.5 hands, but this is a comfortable pen for me. You can post it. Again, I don't post my pens, but you can post it if you want to. Back weights it just a smidge, but again, I'm not a poster, so I don't really comment on that too much. And then let's do some size comparisons. So here is the Esterbrook Model J. Put it next to a couple of common pens. So here is a Lamy Safari, and here is a Pilot Metropolitan. So you can sort of see the comparisons there. In terms of a couple other Esterbrook pens, here is a standard size Estie, and here is the pocket pen, the Esterbrook JR pocket pen. So you can sort of see the comparisons there. And then if you want to see the uncapped comparison, let's just do that really quick. Of course, they're going to roll all over the place, but kind of get an idea there. Yeah, so, it's a little bit shorter than the Safari, pretty similar to the Metropolitan. So, yeah, so that's kind of the technical specs and features of the pen. So let's go ahead and proceed at this time with a writing sample. So I have this pen inked with KWZ Ink Honey, which is a nice sort of light brown color with some shading to it, as you can see here. Again, this is a fine nib that I am using, and I found it to be quite reliable. I didn't have any problems this week with hard starts, drying out, ink flow, railroading, splotches. I really had no complaints at all in terms of the writing quality, the ability of the feed to catch up or to keep up with the nib. I will say this is a smooth writer. However, there is a little bit of feedback, which reminds me of what some folks in the community describe as almost like a graphite type of feel. Similar, it sort of reminds me of the type of feedback that one gets traditionally or well-known feedback from the Sailor nibs. This sort of reminded me of that. I didn't think that was a bad thing at all. I thought it was a very pleasant writing experience, but it is definitely not the, hot butter on glass type of experience. Anyway, yeah, that's just my 2 cents. So we will go ahead and do a little spotlight on the ink here. You'll see the completed writing sample. We'll check out some of the shading, and there are some, I did some ink splotches and that sort of thing. So let's check that out next. Okay, so we'll just do a quick ink spotlight here on the ink that I used this week with the Esterbrook Model J. This is KWZ Ink Color Honey. This is a sort of long writing session that I did with the Model J using this ink on Tomoe River 68 GSM paper to sort of show you some of the properties of the ink here. We'll do a little bit of close-up, and then I did do some intentional ink splotches on the page, so don't worry, these drops and ink splotches are not defects from the pen, they are intentional. And you can see that there's some nice shading in this ink. Remember, this is a fine nib pen that I was using, but there is some nice shading here. No real sheen or anything. You know, these ink splotches, I couldn't really get any sheen or anything to show in those. So it's sort of a flat ink with again, just with shading. So anyway, it's a nice light brown ink, and yeah, that's our ink spotlight for this week. All right, so without further ado, I will go ahead and approve this Esterbrook Model J in Ebonite for use to treat your fountain pen obsessions. All right, folks, so that's all I have for you today on the Esterbrook Model J in Ebonite. Specifically, this is the Antique Rose model. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Please leave comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback and suggestions. And hopefully we'll see you next time.